already cheating, you stop winning.
There it is. And what better else thing to bring in another guy who's played the game and who did the damn thing? Let's bring in James Canada. Let's get in on this. What's up, James? How you doing?
Hey, what's happening, fellas? How y'all doing?
We doing all right. We were
Good,
just
James.
discussing the offensive side of the Buccaneers. Now, I said earlier that the Bucs, Dave Canales has got to not call plays to not mess up, but call plays to win the game and just go all out. And you got to play to the level of your competition. Set the pass up for the run. You can't just do anything. You can't just do the same thing and don't get results. That's why we didn't like Byron. So what is your take that the Bucs on offense need to do, especially today against the Falcons?
Well, AJ, we talked about it last time. I was on the aftermath with you guys, and the one thing I said I was really worried about was our lack of a running game. Yes. And it showed again against the Detroit Lions, but more than that, our third down efficiency on offense was horrible last week. We've got to find a way, and Broad Street South just said it when I was listening in the green room. The defense was on the field too long. We couldn't capitalize on third down. We couldn't extend drives, and you can't ask a defense to play that long of a game in the NFL. I don't care how good they are. And in return, our defensive efficiency went down as well on third down. I want to see Dave Canales find a way to be a little bit more creative and utilizing the run game, even if you got to use Baker's legs a little bit more to extend drives, keep the defense off the field, and then be able to set up some of your play action fake stuff. But and that is really what's going to be necessary for the Bucs to have success. And this Falcons team is not horrible, but at the same time, I believe we can expose them by doing this today.
I agree. And I'm glad that you said that about the run game, because that's another question that I want both of you to ask. I'll start with you again, James, since you are our guest. I get that scheme is sometimes it can be a problem, but I also, in my opinion, see for the running back issue is just hit the hole. Hit the hole. And sometimes you have to make a hole. You've been there. You've seen Allstott. Allstott didn't always have to have a wide opening. He would create the hole and barrel himself through it.
Yeah, AJ, but that's a different kind of monster. You can't compare Rachaad White and Vaughn to what Mike Allstott needed a crack. And I've been fortunate enough to be hit by Mike Allstott and know what it feels like coming through the hole. Even you being bigger than him, you don't want to take a lot of those. So, yes, you're right to an extent, but at the same time, dude, the backs we have aren't built like that. So they are going to have to quit dancing some, be more downhill, and when they see it, go. They don't have time to dance. You're correct. But they're not going to make something out of nothing because they're not built like that. They're more shifty, out in space kind of running backs. Like, offensive line is going to have to extend those blocks maybe 1 or 2 more seconds. And we know in the NFL, you don't have that much time. It's got to be quick hitting. You got to, as soon as you see offensive linemen get that right position, you've got to hit the hole, be downhill, and get to that next level to make it harder on the secondary or get past those linebackers. Because we know once you get past that second level, those guys, and the back thirds, they don't want to come tackle. They're going to come try to chop knees and everything else. So, yes, we have to extend those blocks, get good movement, and find the holes a little bit faster and quit with some of the dancing.
Okay. Appreciate it. How about you, Angel?
Let me say this first of all, James. The helmet I have directly behind me, I'm going to send it out to you so I can get the autograph signature from me. So at least I can have you in the studio all the time, which I would appreciate. But no, James hit a lot of stuff on the head too, because again, the run game, as we talked about, the run game just wasn't enough last week, and you got to find a way. Just like you said too, AJ and James said, find a way to make that hole. You have to. Defensively, the Bucs they still look good. They're still healthy. One of the healthier defensive teams still in the NFL. In relation to the Eagles, we got a lot of banged up players right now. It's going to be tough to beat the Dolphins when your defense is struggling. We might have to find people from Wawa, and Dunkin' Donuts, one of the two, to be able to play, because our secondary right now. Listen, I could be an Eagles fan all day long, and I'm not going to be a homer here, but right now we're just banged up. And to use as an excuse to lose the game or just say, well, Miami played a lot better. No, find a way to win this game, even when a banged up secondary. And that's just the way we have to see it. But again, the way it looks defensively for the Bucs, keep them off the field. Find that well-balanced attack. You have to. Once you get through, I don't care if it's from the right side or the left side, when that running back can start finding that one hole and share it back out as soon as they come off the field, keep doing so. Keep driving that ball. But I don't know. I think the Bucs game, honestly, with the Lions, probably the worst game of the season so far. Hopefully, that's their worst game of the season so far. But I think for the moment, I mean, we're just going to see a major turnaround from this team. I just see a Baker Mayfield. You talk about as far as like using the legs, you have to. Baker's a lot smarter. He knows exactly where he has to, he has to mobilize himself. He made, again, some boneheaded plays, and no different than Jalen Hurts. You were looking at places where only you saw. Everybody else saw other people open. But again, we're not on the field. It's easier to talk about because we're watching it from a bird's eye view, for the most part, no pun intended, but we're watching it from there. So it's a different story. I just think they need to find a way. Keep watching that film, keep watching that tape, find out where the weaknesses are in the holes from your other teams, and keep running that ball. The only thing I'm starting to get a little frustrated, and this is what every team, not with just the Bucs, not with the Eagles, with every team, I understand you're trying to punch the ball out, but you're missing tackles that could have knocked you back 3 or 4 yards. You're so worried about running up to them and then punching that ball out where you could have just gained and make them lose 3 or 4 yards to now make it 3rd and 12, 3rd and 9, instead of making it 3rd and 1, and now they're pushing that line in. So they got to, there's the other thing that defenses need to stop concentrating on. Get that coverage back tight. Again, something the Buccaneers have been doing in the entire season. They did it versus the Lions as well as again, they beat themselves. Time management, everybody knows it. When it comes down to the end of the game, the fourth quarter, milk that clock. Even if you're up by 1, milk the clock. But you can't get to the point where you feel comfortable, you let off on the gas and think, all right, we're going to win this, because we've seen teams so far being able to come back and win. So again, find that well balance in order to succeed this week against the Falcons, and then we'll worry about come next week.
Hallelujah. And I'm glad we're on the defensive side, because James and Angel, I made an article about this in a video on It's About Bucking Time out there, guys. Check it. Now, James, you're a defensive person, so I definitely want your take on this. I had a theory that I discovered a Bowles weakness, and it might not be super like secretive. I think a lot of defensive coordinators on opposing teams have learned this, which is why it's working. Time is literally Bowles' weakness in defense, in my opinion. What I mean by that is because of this right here, guys. This is brought to you by cushion coverage. This is brought to you by being so relaxed. This is what I think that that opposing teams do to the Bucs, because when Bowles plays that cushion coverage so much, it's tiring the team out. And yes, red zone, he locks in and stops them, but eventually it cracks, because what I mean, if your offense cannot complement that defense that we had in the first 2 seasons under Brady, when Brady was here, with that offensive powerhouse that can match the defense if they messed up. I think with that being said, now they're draining the defense. So by the 3rd or 4th quarter, the defense on the Bucs is so exhausted. That's why they're not getting off the field on 3rd downs. If you look at it, James and Angel, all Detroit did in the 4th quarter, they did what the Eagles did. Okay, if they're going to give them this space, throw a short pass, get a 1st down. And this is a defensive guy. Mentally, that can be exhausting. So, James, let me ask you, am I on to something? Is time the biggest weakness of this scheme? Because when they leave you out there too long and you don't know necessarily sometimes strike and get those turnovers, that eventually it does mentally and physically slow down a defense, even if they're dominant?
It plays a part on it because I'll tell you first and foremost, defensive players hate long, sustained drives by the offense. If we cannot get off the field, I mean, everyone's goal is 3 and out. You know what I'm saying? We know that. You guys know that from watching the game, covering the game, and that's the number one thing that's normally preached going into the week, depending on what team you play. Is like, hey, let's be efficient, let's be 3 and out, let's get off the field, get our offense the ball back. So whenever you start getting into these long, sustained drives by the offense, it drives you crazy. It's just like, dude, what are we doing? Why can't we get off the field? And the defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is kind of like a feast or famine type thing sometimes. When we're really aggressive, if we get to the quarterback and get that pressure, we're great. But if you're aggressive and miss, it still opens up things. So now you try to soften up, go into a zone to make sure you're covering those passes, not getting beat by the deep ball. But good quarterbacks and good teams are going to hit you with the hitches, the digs, your favorite route, the drag. to find that space on the field to be able to get the be able to convert. Because this is the thing, it doesn't have to be a home run every play. Good offensive coordinators know that, so they'll take 5 to 6 yards dinking and dunking to keep the ball moving. So, the term you use, time in that, it's a little bit of the time. And Bowles has got to find a way on that defense side of the ball to be more aggressive without being more vulnerable in the secondary. But I think Kalijah Cansey being back for the second week in a row is going to help that up front today. Vita. So I think it'll be a little bit different. Like I said, we haven't had a lot of chemistry with a lot of the guys on our defense playing together since the season started because of injuries and other things. So I think this should be a little bit better. And I believe that, this Falcons offense isn't as good as the last 2 offenses we saw.
Agreed. That's facts. And I thank you for that, because people thought I was crazy at first. I said, wait a minute. I ain't never been in the NFL, but I've played a game where if I'm on defense and I can't get off within a few minutes, I'm tired. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh, yeah, it's dejected, man, because the worst thing, and the other team knows it. They see it on your face. You out there, and don't let it be like in that hot Tampa sun and we can't get off the damn field. You're like, hold on, man. Hey, dog, I need to go sit down for a minute. Let's get a stop. And, it's dejected. You never want to see – you don't want to see a 6-play drive, but when you get into those long 10 to 12-play drives, your defense is beat. And then if your offense turns the ball right back over once they get it,
you're like,
man, you almost about to throw the towel in. Like, hold on, man, we're going to have to let's get to the next half a quarter or something. Something to get.
Right. And speaking of that, we have somebody actually live from the stadium. We got our own Garrett Ballard. Come on in. Hold on. Let me get him in here. Let's get him in here. What's going on with you, buddy?
How's it going, y'all? How's it going? Glad to be here.
Good, man. Look, so right now, what is the energy, in your opinion, on this Bucs game? Is it confidence? Is it desperation, or is it true, like, hey, we just got to get out here and finish this?
I'd say it's confidence. I mean, this team knows what they're capable of. You would listen to the post-game press conferences last week, and they know they are capable of so much more than they showed against the Lions. This is a crucial matchup for the NFC South. These are the 2 teams that appear to be in the race right now, and a win here would give the Bucs a nice, sizable lead for the rest of the season.
Excellent. And we got Slick in here in a second. Come on, Slick, get on up in here. Talk to everybody. But how you doing, Slick?
I'm doing good, guys. I'm just doing a few chores. I got a house full of sick children, so I came on for a split second and then I had to go and give a bowl to a child and reassure that everything's going to be okay.
No problem. Look, and look, that's the word today. This game is to reassure Buck fans. It's going to be okay today, guys. So what is your outcome? What do you expect? Who do you expect? What side of the ball? And I want to start with Garrett and then James and then Angel. What side of the ball, offensively or defensively, do you expect to show out today?
To show out, I would say that the defense has a really good chance to really prove that they're one of the best units in the NFL. You got some talented playmakers like Drake London and Kyle Pitts, and obviously Bijan Robinson, who the Falcons offense seemingly runs through at this point. I mean, I've seen a couple Falcons games this year, and it almost seems like they're trying to give him the ball whenever they can. They like to get him in space. They're going to do their best to get him out near the sideline so he can, work his magic, juke a little bit, make people miss. And the linebackers are going to play a really crucial role in today's game. We know that Desmond Ritter's had his ups and downs this season, so the secondary, they can get some picks, they can get some passes deflected. But I really think this is going to come down to the trenches in the front 7 to see how they can stop that aggressive rushing attack. And not even just rushing. They like to give him screens. They like to run him on routes. He can really do it all. So it's going to really depend on how they can stop that attack with Bijan Robinson. And, I think they're going to have a good game plan. We know how aggressive this defense is. And Devin White and Levante David play fast, and they're going to need to. And they're going to need to play sure of their game to stop Bijan Robinson.
Amen. How about you, James? Thank you for that, Garrett.
I totally agree with what Garrett just said. Coming off of how we played the week before, I think the defense wants to show that they are one of the top defenses in the NFL. I believe that they can be a top 10 defense in this NFL if they go out and execute. And Desmond Ridder has shown under pressure that he cannot handle it. If the Falcons will run the ball to death, we have to take that away and put the game in Desmond Ridder's hands. If we put the game in Desmond Ridder's hands, our defense is going to shine and eat it up all day long. But that's going to come from stopping the run, taking Pitts out of the game as well, and forcing Desmond Ridder to beat us. So I think the shine will be on the defense. And if our defense does well, our offense will then feed off of it.
Excellent. How about you, Angel?
Yep, I'm going to echo what Garrett and James were just saying right now. The defense will set the tone for this team. I'm not worried about the offense as much. It's the defense is going to set the tone for this team. I think if they really come out well, especially stopping that first drive, it's going to have that tempo for the offense to work on. The same on the other side, on the offensively, Atlanta short yardage have been giving up a lot. Stop looking for those 15, 20-yard bombs. 2-3 yards, first 5 yards, push those chains forward enough so now you're at 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. Stop going at 3rd and 9, and now you have to go make a play for 10 yards in order to get that first down. But I think for this game alone, today especially, it's going to be the defense that's going to set the tempo.
You guys see, I think all of you guys are more than likely are going to be right. I just have to be that one guy that flip it and say, I don't know. I want the offense to shine, and this is why. You want I think this, and James, you've seen this. You want your offense to really have your defenses back. Get out there and get the score up. This is a good Falcons defense, but this offense is better. And you want to get your main guys back into it because a lot of people were really hard on Mike Evans for those drop passes. And for me, I'm like, first of all, Evans is elite. I give him some leeway. All great receivers have dropped catches and had bad games, but I do want to get Evans more involved. And like you said, it doesn't have to be the bomb show. Get him in some more crossing routes as well. This is a great guy, and you can use mismatch nightmares because if he is in the slot, then you know they're going to have to put their best corner or they're going to have to double him. And then this is where you can get guys like Palmer open. But also I want Otten use. So this is why I said today the offense, you need to put up at least 20 points on this defense. This is 20 points. And echoing what you guys said, you put 20 points on, hell, the Bucs defense might be able to give you 10. Because I expect to get an interception. Desmond Ridder, we got to be real, guys. He ain't that guy. Now, at home, Falcons are a little different. But, look, I'm going to say what it is. Ridder, you're not that guy. He's not it. That pick against Washington in the fourth quarter, I was disgusted. I said, how do you do that? He was literally right there. So I just want this offense to really help this defense out today and take over. So with that being said, guys, who are your guys on offense and defense that will make noise? Let's reverse. Angel, offensive guy, who you think is going to get out there, and then defensive guy.
I think offensively, it's going to be a Baker Mayfield show. It's one of those things where it's a bounce back. I think he feels that he knows what he needs to get the job done. So I'm going to put it square on Baker Mayfield's shoulders. I'm not even going to put it on the running back. I'm going to put it square on his shoulders. As far as the defense, I'm going with the entire line, the entire defensive line, because to me, again, it's setting the tempo, showing what you can do, letting people know that you are the team to beat. If you're looking to go into the playoffs, it is a great defensive squad. And a lot of people just aren't talking about it. And I think it's a shame. Again, it comes down to the fans as well to show that this is your home. Bring it, be a part, be that 12th man on the field. But the same way too, it's got to be on the entire defensive line. So that's my two. Baker Mayfield, the entire defensive line.
Dig it. How about you, James?
Well, on offense, I think it has to be Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans getting on page. Mike Evans, like you said, getting over those drop passes, and Baker Mayfield just coming out. Angel said it earlier in the show. Baker has shown a lot of maturity in how he handles the game, good or bad, and I love seeing that from him because Baker Mayfield early on may have not taken accountability for anything. He's stood up, he's owned it, and I think today against this Falcons defense, we can have success because our offensive line played very well for the most part in pass rush situations last week. Aiden Hutchinson was almost a forgotten piece, and I was really worried about that going into the game. So I think Baker and Mike Evans going into it. On the defensive side of the ball, I think Garrett said it best. The linebacker play is going to be key. I believe our line will hold up. If those linebackers, key spot, get those tackles made on that run, force them to pass, it's going to be a good day. So linebackers on defense, and then Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans on offense really have to come, show up, and show out today.
I can dig it. Appreciate that, James. Garrett, what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Baker Mayfield, but I'm gonna put out a connection here. Baker Mayfield and Trey Palmer. We saw what kind of game-changing Trey Palmer has. last week against the Lions. And if they can connect deep downfield like they tried to a couple times, that's going to change the game. You know, JT Olson and I said it on our podcast on Friday. If those two passes are completed, it's a different game against the Lions. So if Baker Mayfield's able to connect with Trey Palmer deep, watch out. And then on the defensive side, I'm going to echo what I said earlier, the linebackers. We know Todd Bowles likes to free up his linebackers with the D-line and get them in space and allow them to make tackles. That should be good for the defense.
Excellent, guys. All you guys are saying the same thing now. I actually want Chris Godwin to do good today. And this is why I say that, because he's the guy that can get the medium, you know, the medium thing going. And when he does that, I just think that opens a lot up, because Chris Godwin is that forgot about number one receiver. He is still really good, and he can make you pay. And him and Evans complement each other. When Godwin is destroying in the short immediate routes, that's where Evans can be the guy that gets that bomb. Because I do want to see a couple more bomb plays just so this offense can get some explosiveness. Now, on the defensive side, I want Winfield to go off. Winfield was too quiet last game for me. I don't like that. Because when he's out there, he's like his last name. He wins on the field. And and guys, I know we gotta wrap things up, because Garrett, you're about to be you're in the Bucs Stadium, and James, we got to get ready for the football. So y'all final notes on this game, and what does it mean for a win if they go into Buffalo? But first, we got Dude coming in. But let me start with you, Garrett. What does this win mean, and how do you think it goes over if they go into Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, this win would mean a lot. Like I said earlier, this is a crucial game, not only for the NFC South division, but to get them back on track. You know, no one was really happy with the performance last week, and they all know they can do better. So coming out against a division rival who is looking to take first place from the Bucs, this is a big game. You know, a win here is just going to boost confidence, not only going into that Buffalo game, but going into the rest of the divisional matchups for the rest of the season.
I can dig it. How about you, James?
I totally agree. You know, number one rule from that comes out of the locker room from your head coach is division games are the games that matter most. And the first goal, you come into training camp, win the division, make it to the playoffs, then you go from there. So this is a big game, not because it's the Falcons and becoming a rivalry, but because it's another division game. Didn't play the way we wanted to play coming out of a bye week last week. Now's the perfect time to take advantage of it, and not even looking ahead to that Buffalo game. We have to handle the Falcons to let them know that we are going to put out our dominance in the NFC South and take the division and put everybody on notice. So this is a big game just for that point alone.
Amen. Well, I know, like I said, you guys are short on, gotta get ready to go, but we do appreciate both of you. And first off, James, tell everybody where they can find you and what you got cooking up next.
Man, you can find me on the BGSE network on my show, Big Game Sports Buzz and Games Pewter Perspective. I drop a new show every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And you can follow me on my Twitter at JKN97 or at BGSE Network for all my shorts and takes on everything NFL and NBA.
Thank you for your time. And as always, go Bucs, and you the man.
Appreciate it, sir.
Take care. And Garrett, I know you about to get yourself going, so tell everybody what you got coming up and where they can find you.
Yeah, I do all my written work at Sports Talk Florida and Bucs Report, so you can find all my stuff there. All game recaps. I'm also covering the USF Bowls. So if you want some Bowls content, go ahead and check out Sports Talk Florida. As for Twitter, follow me on Twitter at NFL Ballard. Game recaps, live game updates, all the sort. And then I also do a podcast with JT Olson, like I said earlier, Creamsicle Chronicles podcast every Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So come check it out. Thanks, y'all.
No problem. You take it easy, Garrett, and always go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Thank you. And
you know it's all about the
Hey, what's up, dude? We missed you. What's going on?
That Dunkin' got me fired up, bro. Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Let me tell you, man, right now, brother. if you're running late to the game, run on Duncan. Why? Why, you ask? Slick probably wants to know. He wasn't here earlier. Let me just go ahead and help you out here, Slick, and all the people listening. As a matter of fact, we have our first winner of a prize pack. Christopher Cole will be contacting us, and he'll be getting his little gift sent out this week. Thank you, Christopher Cole. But as they say, when you kick off your day with Duncan, we're with you all the way to the end zone with a dozen delicious Raise the Flag donuts sprinkled with your team colors and a perfectly brewed coffee. Make a run to Duncan, official coffee run of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you're wondering why we're talking about that. Well, please do me a favor here. I need you to like, subscribe, share our show live from the YouTube channel for your chance to win some Buccaneers Duncan swag and possibly a Mike Evans creamsicle jersey. What are we talking about, swag? We got ourselves a nice little swag bag here from Duncan. We got ourselves some beer koozies. We've got some Duncan gift cards, some eye patches, scrunchies for your girl, all that stuff. But the big prize for a randomly selected person who likes, subscribes, and share this show from our YouTube channel, the Mike Evans creamsicle jersey. This is not one from Tokyo. This isn't ironed on. You're not going to buy this at Walmart. This is from mitchellandness.com. The letters, the numbers are stitched. The material is authentic. Everything is just as it was in 1976. With that said, guys, what a great show. James Canada, Garrett Ballard. We got Angel Martinez. We have Slick, who looks like he's frozen in purgatory there. Slick, I haven't heard a word from you, brother.
I'm all right. I just took the video off because I'm washing up while listening to the show. So,
all right, this shower time brought to you by Slick, Slick from the UK. I want to jump in here a little bit and say I do agree that Baker's a big key. This game is going to be a game of whoever wins the turnover battles. And that kind of leans on the defense a little bit. Yes, Buccaneers fans, we're going to be leaning on our defense again today. Desmond Ryder, whatever you want to call him. Sorry. The only guy I know that it looks like a 19-year-old and a senior citizen at the same time. If we pressure him and make them lean exclusively on Bijan Robinson in the running game, this is a Buccaneers win going away. Baker, just because the defense forces turnovers doesn't mean you're off the hook. Hold on to the ball. Use your brain. Don't try to be hero. Hero ball left town and went to New Orleans when Jameis Winston left. Play within the system. Run the play. Go through your reads. If it's not there, pull the ball down and take off. You have more speed than anybody gives you credit for. And it's not just speed. You're elusive. Now, AJ, you're off the hook. Your Gators didn't play yesterday, so I got nothing to whine to you about. As far as the upper right-hand corner, we can't say enough. If you're not tuning into 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio, go to Angel Martinez's Twitter page. Come to our page. Come to any page and find it. You can find this, the Aftermath, Big Game Sports Buzz, sometimes other people, although they're not willing to participate, so maybe not much longer. And the best from stuff from Tony Bruno all the way down the lineup there. Solid radio content delivered to your phone, your device. You can play it through your car, your home speaker. Heck, you can even put it on your TV. I figured that out the other day. So 102.9 Game, Broad Street South. And again, Buccaneers run on Duncan. Like, subscribe, and share this YouTube show, and I will come find you, and I will get your address, and I will send you free stuff. It's that simple. You don't have to get up and enter a raffle. You don't have to do any of this stuff. Just like, subscribe, and share this show, and I'll come find you, and I'll mail you some cool stuff. Boys, we're going to be wrapping it up here soon because I know you guys are chomping at the bit to go watch those old guys.
No, listen, who knew from the dude? There was a reason why he sent me coffee. I couldn't understand. He said, but make sure you drink it at 11 o'clock. Well, there you go. Here's to Duncan.
Exactly. I can dig it. Yes. And yes, we'll wrap this up soon. But yes, I'm glad we're talking about the defense.
I'm gonna jump out here. I'll end the show for you, AJ. So when you're done, just tap out, and I'm gonna run a couple videos at the end of the show here.
Absolutely. Thank you, dude.
Peace.
Peace. But yeah, defensively, we have got to do again. Take over, be aggressive. That's the whole point. Ben, stop being a hater. Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. Look, guys, that's how you know. That's how good of an impact the Gators had, especially in the good old early years of the 2000s with Tim Tebow and all them. Hell, it goes back to Steve Spurrier days. We wrote, it's just like our influence on the game was phenomenal. But anyway, back to the Bucs defense. Play aggressive. I want to see the Bucs defense, in my opinion, Angel, just don't do any of this, none of this.
Yep.
Get them if you want to keep this defense rested. Take risk. Now I know it's easier said than done. Like you said, we're just two guys right here just talking. We're not on the field, but for me, who was coached and played some parts of the game, I'd rather get beat quick and out so I can learn from my mistake than get drawn in slowly, because that's a psychological effect. Now, I'm jamming you. I want to see you get the best of me, because even if you do, that split second that quarterback has to pause to get it happening, that's when he gets stripped, gets rocked, or he throws a pick to somebody else. He doesn't see somebody else in his vision. I like chaos at the line of scrimmage. Most good quarterbacks, even good quarterbacks, are not always good when there's chaos at the line. So what is your take on that?
Yep. No, I agree with you 100%, because again, we've been talking about the defense most of the game. The offense definitely needs it. If the running game is not there, if you don't have a strong running back, hey, find a way to air it out. But make sure when you air it out, don't try and do it in double, triple coverage. Don't try to thread that needle, because every once in a while you thread that needle, you already know you're going to give up that ball. And the last thing you want is turnovers in this game. Yeah. If the Bucs have more than 2 turnovers on this game offensively, it's going to be a hard time the rest of the game to figure out, because Atlanta's going to put on that pressure. We all know this. It's not something that's not out of the ordinary. Once you give it the first turnover, they start getting under your skin. The next thing you know is they're going to try and get that second one. They're trying to get that strip ball. So offensively, find a way to just get, again, those short yardage. Stop worrying about 10, 15, 20 yards down the field. March that ball in 2 yards. Get that 3-yard gain. Get that 5-yard push. And then you get up to that line, 31. Either you do your quarterback sneak or you do a fake end around, one of the two. But you got to find a way of getting the short yardage to finally start getting them punching through that. Then you can get that 20-yard run. Then you can get that 40-yard run. Or then you can air it out for 30 yards plus. But again, the accountability is all going to fall upon Canales, and it's going to fall upon Baker Mayfield. It's you two guys are controlling this game today. Defensively, I think the Bucs are going to come up big. It's just my feeling when it comes to the Falcons this week. So I think it's going to be huge. And by the way, for Julio Jones, who decided to leave from the Buccaneers, I understand he came to Philadelphia. Do I expect major things from Julio Jones? Not really. Truth being told, I don't see it. It's not the same Julio Jones of yesteryear. So, yeah, great. It was cute. The Eagles signed him. Great. Are you going to make a world of difference? No, because when you have too many divas on the field, it's going to be a problem. So I hope that when Julio comes, he's able to play, he's able to do well. But again, that's a different show for a different day.
You know what? Because you guys have good coaching than what we did last season. I think you guys are going to be fine. I think what you guys will do is use him for situational purposes, and you'll be fine. So I agree with that. I think you guys will be fine. But yes, they cannot have no drama. But now I want to get to the final scores, because Ben, you did something good. I like this. Ben, this is fair. Bucs 24, Falcons 14. Now I'll say this: if the Falcons are able to muster 14 points, it better be garbage time points. I want the Bucs to put them away by at least the third quarter, where the Bucs are like, okay, now we can go into neutral mode and just relax and cruise. So I'm hoping the Bucs are up 24 and it's like nothing in third quarter with like 5 minutes left. So I'm hoping that happens. But let's get to this and wrap this up. Angel, what is your final prediction score for this game?
I think it's a good game for the Bucs offensively. I think they do at least 100 plus in the air. I feel like, but on the ground, I'm going for at least 101 yards. I think they can do it against this Atlanta D. So I could see easily the Bucs taking this one away 28-3 and giving them just a field goal to the Falcons. Because again, you haven't matched up with a defense like this so far this season. And it will send a good resounding volume effect to the Buffalo Bills coming up next week. But let's get through this one this week and we'll see exactly what ends up happening. But also, yes, I've been wearing red, but that's only because my Phillies are just one game away from going back to the World Series. So yeah, that's why I got my red on today.
Lord. Well, that's nice. Good. Shout out to them. Good luck. Still salty about the Phillies and Rays, but that's just me. I'm over it. I'm trying to get over it. So, but yes, I'm the same way, but I said 24-6. The only reason why I said I think the Bucs offense will be able to amp it up a little bit, and they'll be able to, I think Bowles, he'll get turnovers, but I think he'll suffocate this team, especially in the run. So that's how I feel about it. But again, thank you for joining us. And always, guys, this is the man on the 102.9, The Game, Broad Street South Radio. Please check him out. Always got entertaining stuff. And of course, you can always check The Aftermath and Bucs Report, everything. We do things. But before we let this gentleman go, tell them where they can find you and what other plans you got in the future.
Sure. Now, again, you guys can find me over at broadstsouth.com where we have everything laid out. You guys want to follow the shows that are on the station, go right through there, go under the menu, and you can see the entire lineup of the guys who are on the show as well. And it's great to see because, again, the Aftermath, AJ knows, the dude knows, these guys know that there's a hard-working bunch. And these guys come hard hitting, and that's the reason why they're on the station. Everybody loves them on the station because, again, it's Eagles fans that now have to hear Bucs reports, but now Eagles fans are going to have to hear James' other side, right? And they're also going to hear some Cowboys take, which I'm pretty sure is going to drive them nuts. But we had a couple of shows added on into the network, which is a lot of fun. So I like to thank a lot of people for being able to do that. Also, you can follow me on social media, Broad ST South Pod on Twitter, Broad_ST_South on Instagram. And coming up next week, we will start having a music lineup on the station as well. So there could be a possibility I may be looking for a virtual DJ to host your own radio show as far as on the music side. So stay tuned for that one.
All right. Appreciate it, Angel. And as always, I know you can't say it, but go Bucs.
Go
Take
Birds.
care of yourself, my man. All right, guys. We about to wrap this up. And thank you for tuning in. And again, like the dude said, share the wealth because we're giving you a plethora of good knowledge here. And as always, you can always check me out on the Aftermath 102.9 Game, Broad Street South Radio. I'm AJ Turner. But also, if you want to check out my other little personal videos, I have my own personal account. It's about Buck and Time on YouTube. You can always go to my website. Also go to Instagram, AJ Turnup, and check out my website for I have a clothing line where I like to inspire and you turn up in style. And as always, go Bucs and stay tuned for some videos, guys. Dude, you can take it away, my man. Go Bucs.
Got him! Got him!
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes till the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, one half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
Whew.
That was awesome. That was f***ing awesome.